So we are starting this Bhandarkar's book. So now let us talk about little Devanagari Lipi, the Lipi script which is used by Hindi people. It was originally a Sanskrit script. Sanskrit and Pali in those days it was used. So it is called Nagari script, Nagari Lipi or Devanagari Lipi. But South Indians, particularly Kannada and Telugu people, they write when they write and read Sanskrit, they do it in Telugu and Kannada script. So that is convenient for them because they don't have to learn another script. But I feel learning Sanskrit script is necessary, it is useful because Sanskrit books once published in Nagari Lipi are sold all over India, even all over the world also. Therefore, if you become familiar with the Nagari script, so you can read any book anywhere. Otherwise, if you depend on only Kannada script, then if the book is available in Kannada script alone, you can read and you find it very difficult. Therefore, I say to get a larger access for any book, better learn Nagari script. These days it is becoming easy, and even school colleges also one subject is there. So I think you are familiar with Nagari script. Coming to directly the first chapter. Alphabets, since you know, I won't go into much. So just, alphabet just I will say. First, see the first chapter, alphabet chapter. There I have to say regarding the vowel and consonants basically. So, a. In fact, a is only a lengthened akara. In fact, a alone is a vowel. A, I, U, Ru, Lu. These 5 are vowels, normal vowels. And another is A, I, O, Au. These are basically vowels. So the same A, for sake of children, is taught as a long A. So A we learn. I, U, Ru, like this we learn. Then in South Indian, in our languages, A, I. So the A is a long one also. In Kannada, Telugu, probably in Tamil also. A, both short and long. Hraswa and Dirgha we have. But whereas in Hindi as well as, in Hindi, some of the places Hindi is there. Tulsidas uses a shorter A also. So it was there, it looks, and even now it is there in some technical forms it is there. So Sanskrit generally, there is only long A and I. Long O and Au. Only this much. These are called vowels. So vowels...
it is long A and long O.
Only that much. Then these are called vowels. In Sanskrit we call them swaraha. Athava in another technical language they call ach. Ach is a technical, it is not used Panini's language. That we will tell you a little later. So here one more thing about is, now one more thing. He is using Bhandarkar here, English script. Same alphabets written in English script. So the international Indologists, particularly our what you call German and English people, when they started studying our Shastras and translating them, they were using English alphabet, and to be able to pronounce correctly, then they added certain marks. They are called diacritical marks. You might be aware. Diacritical marks. This Bhandarkar has given. You can see them. The Bhandarkar book. I think this is the book which I have. I don't know whether they can see it. I'm just to show you. Is it visible? Okay. This book I am using. First book of Sanskrit by Bhandarkar. So in this first chapter, he is giving, for example, say A. What alphabet you have to use it? In English, A is pronounced sometimes as A, sometimes A. Therefore, they fixed it, A is used for A. Now in Telugu, we have a long and short. A normal is A, and if you put a horizontal line over it, you can see that it is. That also you can learn. I think I have not put the board now. I think tomorrow I will arrange the board and I can show you. Or shall I bring it now? No, I think it gets distant.
Tomorrow
only. Yeah. So A So the diacritical marks, if you have not learned, that learning is also useful, though we are not going to use them. But any book, if you read, for example, Indian names, when you write Ramayana, how do you write? R-A. If you simply write, foreigners, they pronounce as Ramayana. No, Ramayana. Ramyana. Ramyana means because it should be Ra or Ra, we do not know. Ramyana, they say. So it is Rama. So the second A, no, dash Allah. It is a horizontal line over the A. You see, you can see the horizontal line. So Rama. Yeah, okay. Na, there is again one, the line I'll tell you later. So here, for A is used. For E, they are using I, English I alone. I is always fixed. Same for long E, same line. Then U is used for O. So that you can write our English slokas, names, correctly you can pronounce, correctly you can do if you use this definitely. Otherwise, I feel even our TVs and our books also should use. Otherwise, our North Indian names, how we pronounce. Do you know in Kashmir, there is one, a small state, now it is Union Territory, towards China and Pakistan. What do they call it? Ladakh, our people say, South Indians pronounce. It is not Ladakh. In Hindi, they pronounce it as a Ladakh. Ladakh is a, Ladakh, da is double, Ladakh. But if you write it in English, L-A-D-A-K, they call it Ladakh. So even now they continue to say Ladakh. Even name of our Prime Minister is wrongly pronounced. They call Modi. It is not a D, it is Modi. Because we write our North Indian, South Indian names in English and pronounce through English and repeat them in other places. Many of our South Indian towns and names also in North India, they pronounce in peculiar way. North Indian names we pronounce, that's the same defect. I don't know why government is not adopting. Wherever we use, even in TV, etc., start using diacritical marks. So we can pronounce our names accurately the way they pronounce it. So Modi, it should not be Modi. Whole India pronounces, particularly North India, Modi, they say. It is not Modi, it is Modi. It is not Dhi Allah.
Modi, Alpa
Prana, not Mahaprana. Di, Modi only. So like this. So for want of this diacritical, when we are adopted English to suit the Indian names, at least for proper nouns, why don't we use these things? I don't know. Nobody is bothering. Whole government, media, educated intellectuals, we love to pronounce our own names wrongly and we enjoy. I'll give you one or two more examples. For Buddhism, they call Buddhism. Then for Hyderabad, they call Hyderabad. Because a D is there. But it is a Hyderabad. Muhammadan can heltare Muhammadan. Muhammadan, where is that? This is again English influence. D you are pronouncing as D. It is a da, not D. So we pronounce all the words wrongly because for want of diacritical marks. I feel whole India should use them. It is the most important. I don't know why they don't. When we teach English, instantly along with English, when we are learning the spellings and pronunciation, teach this particular diacritical mark so that Indian names can be correctly pronounced. See, for cha, cha, difference is not known. Da, ta, ta, ta and da, da. Difference is not known at all.
Swamiji, I believe there is a bigger conspiracy because in Kannada department, they go in the forum like why one should speak in one such particular way. There are many folk pronunciation. Let everyone speak however they want. Why should we follow grammar? Grammar is invented. Grammar is Brahminical patriarchy.
See, if you pronounce as you like it, then how do you understand? How does the other person understand? Our brahmachari went to Rishikesh. In Delhi, he went to the railway station to book the ticket. He asked in Telugu people, pronounce ta and da as one. In fact, they pronounce more as a da only. Artha ki they call ardha. If I say ardha, is it half or meaning? What do you say? Artha is meaning. Ardha is half. If I say ardha, do you understand?
No.
Now he says he went and there, I want a ticket for, he said, Madura. Then he told Madura means that people being a North Indian, he thought it is meant for Madurai, and he directed him to another counter. Again he asked Madura means for this thing. No. He says it is not that, go to that place alone. He went back to the old counter. Again he stood there for a while, and again he says Madurai. Again he sent him back to the second counter. Third time he told this Vrindavan, Madura. Then that counter person, clerk, sitting in the counter, he had a doubt. He asked Madura or Mathura. Now you know our Telugu person, he says the same Madura again. If Telugu people pronounce tha as a da only, grantha ke grandha, granthalayam ko grandhalayam. This has become a common, I think, not now, I think 50, 70 years, 100 years over now. They have made it into everything. See, you like as you like it. Now, what do you understand if you say like that? Then I'll give you one more thing. I was in, what is that, Allahabad, Prayaga, in one ashram. One Swamiji was talking to me. We were just chatting and talking in these things. Ek rishi the, Jaggabakka, he told. Jaggabakka. I told him, Jaggabak तो मैंने कभी नहीं सुना है. I have never heard Jaggabak. हाँ, मैं नहीं सुना है तो मैं बोलता हूँ बैठ होकर के. Then he started telling, narrating the story. Then I understood, oh, वो तो याज्ञवल्क्य है. See, Ya is pronounced as Ja in North India. Yajna ku Jagga. Yajna ku Jagga ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಈಗ ವಲ್ಕ್ಯಾಕು ವಾನು ಬಾ ಹೇಳಿಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ವಾ pronounced as ba. So bakka, Jagga bakka. ಈಗ Jaggabakka, do you understand? You feel as you like it. Whoever claimed it like that, you call his name, you pronounce in a Bengali way. You pronounce the same fellow's name, you twist it. I can tell him how I pronounce in Bengali way or in what you call Assam way or in North Indian way. Then does anybody understand that? He says Jaggabakka. We call Yajnavalkya, he says Jaggabakka. You start thinking there are two people, one is Jaggabakka, another is Yajnavalkya. Then how will you understand? See, some pronunciations out of their own way, certain things happen. If they happen on their own, we just tolerate and we allow them. But why make a rule that you pronounce as you like it? We try to teach them the correct pronunciation. In spite of that, a few places, somewhere a few things happen, we just allow them. But why deliberately make a rule that you pronounce as you like it? Otherwise, you won't understand what I speak. What I speak, you won't understand. What you speak, I won't understand. You try to people. One who says like that, has he ever communicated with different people with different backgrounds and different languages and pronunciation? Let him go to North India. Not North India. We have lived in an ashram where we have the people from all over the world. We have Europeans, we have Australians, we have Americans, we have British people, and then other countries also, some of the French people, some of the German people. Even the French-German pronounce differently. Then we had Bengalis, we had Oriya, we had Assamese, we had Gujaratis, we had Rajasthanis, we had Punjabis with us, we had Tamilian, Kannada, Kerala, and Marathi, all people. No, each one pronounces differently. How do you understand? One fellow says, one Spanish boy, I met him, and he was struggling hard to speak in English. Then I understood he doesn't know English. When I was in Rishikesh, he came there. He dressed up like a brahmachari and he came. Then I asked him, how did you learn English? You know what he says? It is India that taught me English. You understand? It is India that taught me English. If each one pronounces like that, then how will you understand? India, do you like it?
No.
So it is India that taught me English. So he wanted to learn Indian language, Hindi or something. But seeing his white face, all Indians only started speaking to him in English. Ultimately, he learned English instead of learning Hindi. He's a foreigner, Spanish boy. He came to stay in India and learn ashrams, visited ashrams, stayed in various ashrams. He ended up speaking English, which he doesn't know, which he didn't know before. So this is the problem. Anyway, if you start pronouncing each one day, I asked one more Swami, Bengali Swami, Swamiji, aapka naam kya hai? Then he says, Shami Devanando. Shami Devanando. Now, do you understand anything?
No.
Shami Vivekanando. Swami Vivekananda is pronounced Devananda, is pronounced Debanando.
Vakara, vakara.
But each one he pronounces like that. How do you understand?
True.
It becomes a big help. You see, if an Telugu fellow, he prints a book, even if he prints in a Sanskrit, he says, with the government's financial help, this book was printed. He says, Ardhika Sahayyena.
Ardhika, ayyo.
Ardhika, how do you understand? Ardha. Ardha Shastram, he says.
Ayyo.
Do you understand what is Ardha Shastram? I know, because these my Telugu fellows, how they pronounce, I know it. But this is a wrong thing. Therefore, you say, as you pronounce, what does it mean? Even now, we are finding it very difficult. See, I saw in Kanchi Kamakoti Shankaracharya came, on his van it is written, Kamakodi Pidam.
English.
Do you understand what? Kamakoti Pitam ke Kamakodi Pidam.
Pidam.
Then do you understand?
Ayyo.
Now, do you understand DDT? DDT is a temple, and it is a temple institute. Of temple, it publishes books, and there is a Venkateshwara Swami, and people go for his darshan. You understand what is it?
No.
TTD is pronounced by Tamilian as a DDT.
Ayyo.
Then do you understand?
No.
He says TTD, Tirumala, Tirupati, Devasthanam, TTD. He pronounces as DDT. Now you say you pronounce as you like it. Now, Saligramas, where do you get? Gandaki. And you know what he says? Kantaki Nadi. Tamilian, he says Kantaki. Shankara Bhagavat Pada andre, Shankara Pakavat Pada. Shankara Bhagavat Bada. Shankara Bhagavat Bada. Have you understood? Shankara Bhagavat Bada.
So much of
Shankara Bhagavat Badaru. Now you understand what is that?
So much confusion.
Mari pa ba, if you mix up, how do you understand? You pronounce as you like, Andre, what does it mean? Certain things if happen by mistake, we try to correct as best as possible. But still, if you allow arbitrary pronunciation, then there won't be any communication. Not only there won't be communication, there will be quarrel between people. Language is, do you need a language for yourself?
No.
Language is required for communicating with others. Then if the very communication suffers, then what for is the language? You don't need language for yourself, to be alone. Therefore, that argument can't be accepted. Okay, we leave it now. Now say, okay, now alphabets, vowels we have stated. Now let's go swara. Anuswara. Swara, that is okay, vowels. Anuswara means that when you say come, gum, that what you call them? Sunne in Kannada?
Anuswara.
In Anuswara, you call Anuswara only. So that round one. Round one, when you say, what you say, how do you say that? That is called Anuswara. Not the alone over the a. Im, tam, gum, cham, yavade, anything. That is Anuswara. Another is Visarga. How do you pronounce Visarga? Visarga is pronounced, you see, let me tell you. Visarga is pronounced after a, if it comes, it is pronounced as aha. After e, it comes ihi. After u, it comes uhu. Uha Allah. See, after e, if visarga, see, Ramaha, when you say Ramaha, if Hari or Kavi, if a visarga comes after Hari, you pronounce as Harihi, not Hariha. Visarga is not always ha. Hariha, you don't say Harihi. Then after Guru, Guruhu, you say, you don't say Guruha. Visarga is not always pronounced as ha. According to the previous vowel, it is Ramaha. Say, you can Harihi, Guruhu. After A, if after A is there, Ehe. After O, Oho. After A, it will be Ehe. After O, it is Oho. After I, it is Aihi. Auhu. This is the pronunciation. So Visarga has to be pronounced correctly. When the words come, we will pronounce it. Just in the beginning, I am just telling you. So this is the pronunciation of Visarga. Now, one more thing I tell you. These days, it has become a fashion now. All this Western Buddhi alone. Certain things in the Shastra, what you have not learned, you have to listen. After learning, then you can say anything. Now, what I am seeing is, I started teaching one person Sanskrit. So, a word is new for him. Everything is new. He has not learned Sanskrit at all before. So, as I explain the meaning of a word, he says, no, I will explain. If it is wrong, you correct. Every new thing, if you start doing like that, then I told you, you don't need me. You only needs me for verification alone, whether he is correct or not. For Vedanta, should I teach it? Or he himself says, the world is like that, Prapancha is like that, Paramatma is that. You correct me. Am I correct? People want to feel that this is an egoism, nothing but egoism. So he says, I discovered myself, I know already. I don't have to learn from others. Then I told you, if this is the way, then you don't need me, then I don't have to teach you. This has become a fashion. Most of the modern youngsters behave like this alone. It has become impossible to teach to them. They won't allow me to speak at all. Any word they come, they start explaining. Again they start. I told, no, that is wrong. No, let me try another one. He gives another one. Then, no, that is wrong, another one. He wants to imagine himself, and I am here only to verify. You are good, you are correct. So it is like I am only a dictionary, not a teacher. With this, what you don't know, can you learn? What you imagine, what you already see alone, you repeat. But can you learn what you have never imagined, what you have never discovered, never understood? You won't learn. So therefore, that's why the knowledge of the modern people is very shallow because of this kind of thinking. Most of the youngsters I have seen, they never allow me to speak. They never allow me to explain. They themselves imagine. I repeatedly told them, I found impossible to teach Sanskrit to such people. I stopped. Then thereafter I became afraid that hereafter I will not teach Sanskrit to anybody. I think after that I am teaching you. So let me see if it works. Otherwise, if you also behave, then I will not do. If you don't listen what I say. See that Visarga pronunciation, it's a totally new. So he doesn't allow me. He himself wants to imagine. Then I say, no, it is wrong. Again he imagines. Again, you allow me to say, no, let me tell Swamiji, you correct if I am wrong. On what basis you imagine? You imagine based upon Japanese or Chinese or some other language? What is that? So this becomes too much, wasting my timing and irritating me. What you don't know also, you don't allow me to speak. This is too much. So this is one. So Visarga, more will come later. Now, consonants, Vyanjan in Kannada, in consonants. In consonant, ka, when you say, ka is not a consonant. There is a ka and a. Both are mixed there. Ka. Ka means ka and a. Ka, this alone. So that only consonant is difficult to pronounce. Therefore, I is added. So first it is ka, kha, ga, gha, nga. Now it is pronounced as you see. Ka, you try to see from which part of your tongue, mouth, it is pronounced. Ka, near kantha. See, ka, kha, ga, gha, these 5 letters are pronounced from kantha. Kanthasthana, you can see them. A comes from there. Say, ka, kha. See, your upper portion, lower portion is touching. Which part you watch it? Ka, kha. Tongue is going and touching upper part. Ka, kha, ga, gha. See, that place alone, the nasal should be pronounced. Anunasika, nga. Where ga comes, there alone nga should come. Ga should be nasalized ga. Nga, nga. You listen to me first. Ga, you say.
Ga.
Nga.
Na.
Nga.
Na.
Nga. Kanta should come. Nga. See, ga, where the ga comes, there alone nga should come. Ka, kha, ga, gha, nga.
Na.
Ka, kha, ga, gha, nga. It is slightly different, slightly, but around that area.
Na.
Na alla. You are telling na?
Nya.
Nya alla. Nga. Why do you go to another alphabet? Ka, kha, ga, gha, nga.
Na.
Na you are telling. Na is yen. In English, yen it is. No, that's why I'm telling you, it should be pronounced in the Kantasthana. Nga. Have you not heard it? Ka, kha, ga, gha, nga.
For na, like lip touches upper part. Na.
Tongue touches. No, that's not the place. Place I'm telling you, Kantasthana.
Kantasthana. Na.
Kantasthana is not here, but in the inside there. Na. See, you watch where the ka, kha, ga, gha are coming. Ka, kha, ga, gha, nga. Slightly different, not exactly, slightly around that area. Nga, that is it. Like going, they say ng, that place. That pronounce that is the place. Nga, that should come. Otherwise, any pronunciation goes wrong. Okay. For that, then next you see cha, cha, ja, jha, nya. The same place. This is called palate. Talu we call in Sanskrit. Kantasthana, this is called talusthana. So cha, ja, jha, nya. Nya should come near the ja. Just near.
Cha, ja, jha, nya.
Nya. Nya means chanchala, janja, chancha. Say nya, ja. As if you are pronouncing two chas or two jas. In between that, it becomes a nya. Because that place, that's why we, in Sanskrit, in grammar, in Shiksha Shastra called phonetics, in Vedanga, all this, the place of pronunciation, the effort for pronunciation, there is an elaborate one Shastra only on that. How to pronounce and correct pronunciation. So it is a nya. The next, ta, da, dha, na. Near about da only. Near the da.
Da.
No, ta, da, dha, na. See, da. See here, when there is a hollow, just the slope of the hollow alone, there alone you are touching, you are telling na. Your tongue is going up and na. Da, na. Around that same place. Na. Around the same place. Then next, ta, tha, da, dha, na. So na is, the tongue is touching the teeth. Because ta, all they are called dentals. Means all these ta, tha, da, dha, na 5 letters are by touching the teeth. They are called dentals. Dantyakshara. Ika ta, tha, da, dha, na are called linguals. Murdha. Murdhanya. Murdhanya means we touch the upper part. Murdha means the ceiling of the mouth is murdha. Then palate is like this. This one, palate. Talu. Kantha, talu, murdhanya, then danta. Now next you see pa, pha, ba, bha, ma. All these are lips. They are called aushtya. Aushtyaksharas. So now, one more thing about the English alphabetical. N is, for all these consonant nasals, how do you distinguish? See, nga, nya, na. For upper, for ma it is easy, we have got in English yam. For remaining 4, there is only n. English is n. Then how to distinguish? See, he has given the markings. For nga, n is written and put a dot over it. For nya, n is written and put a curved line. Then for na, Ramayana, na, when you say n, you write and put a dot below. If a dot below the n, it is called na. If upper n, it is called nga. Then the na is normal. This n is normal. So first 3 you have to learn. First 3. Nga, nya, na. These 3 markings. Then the pronunciation will be correct, accurate. Then okay. Next is called semi-vowels. You see ya, ra, la, va. Then last. Then sha, sha, sa.
Sha, sa.
No. First is sha. Sha is a palatal. Palatal andre talu. Cha. See cha, cha, ja, ja. Around that place alone, sha is pronounced. Sha. Then the second is sha. Tongue has to be brought back inside. See, Rashi. No, Rashi. Sha, sha. Shankara is different. Shankara is different from this is Rashi. She means little heavy agbeku. Rashi. See Vishesha. See the difference? Vishesha. 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 Otherwise, Vishesha andre you can't distinguish it. Vishesham. Visheshta. Vishesha. You see the Vedic pronunciation, that's why people should learn some Veda mantras. The pronunciation will be correct. Otherwise, it will go wrong. Vishesha. You see the boys? In the beginning, it is difficult. 3 months it takes. Some dull boys take at least 6 months. After 6 months, every letter comes correctly. Vishesha. Visheshana. Vishesha. Sha. Vishesha. So this is Sha. Sha, Sha, Sa. Sa is normal dental. Sa. Light Sa. Ha. Last is Ha. These are the alphabets. Okay. Now the joint.
No La.
No, La is there. No, La is not there in Sanskrit. But in Vedika Prayoga, La is there. In certain words alone, it is used instead of Da. Da, da, ta, ta, da, da, da. A Da, third letter Da. Da becomes La in certain context. For example, in Rigveda, Agnime Ele Purohitam Yajnasya Devam Ritvijam Agnimele. In fact, the verb is Ida, Ide. In fact, it is Ide. Ide becomes Idyaha. The Shabda must have Idyaha. So Ida. Ida, Da becomes La in Vedika Prayoga. So La is there only in Veda in certain area. Other places, I think later it is lost.
Swamiji, in vowels, Ru. Kannada, Telugu, it is not there.
No, Ru is there. Why not? Kannada is there.
Ru. As a vowel, it is not.
It's there. Ru is there. No, it's not Dru Allah. It's not Dru. Ru Allah. It's not Ru. It is, I'll tell you, it is neither U nor A. Regarding Ru, I say. No, Lu you call it. It is a Lu. It is not Ru. It is Lu only. Lu. It is L. That's a light La. L. See, regarding Ru, I say, South Indians pronounce as Rishi. Ru, they make it totally U. Rishi. North Indians make it totally E. They call it Rishi. South Indians make it Rishi. But it is neither U nor E. It is just R. It is Rishi. It is neither E nor U. That's why it is called Rishi. Just R. In English, just R. Don't make it U or E. It is just R.
Oh, that is why they don't write R, S, H, I. They write R below dot S, I.
Yes. For Krishna, when you say K and R and put a dot below, so that it is not consonant Ra, it is a vowel Ra. To distinguish the vowel R from the consonant Ra, they call it Krishna. That's why it is not Ra, it is Ra. Something like I think you have to bring the tongue inside and pronounce it as a Prakarati, Krati. See, that's why you see the Purusha Sukta, how do you say? Sahasra Shera Sha. So that Rishi, it should come. Brahma Rishi. It should be a Ru. It is not Ru nor Ri. It is a Ru. Like that. That's why some Veda mantras, you better learn few suktas at least. Common few suktas, the Bala Patha, 5 Pancha Sukta, Purusha Sukta, Narayana Sukta, and Rudra Chamaka, and Taittariya. These basic things you learn, most important Veda mantras come, and also right pronunciation you get. Learn these basic things. Okay, I think alphabets is over. Then
regarding the word Shankara, how do we write Sha Anuswara? In Kannada we write Sha Anuswara Kara. In Sanskrit we use this one.
Yeah. That will come later, but since you are asking, I'll tell you, that will come later. You see the pronunciation. How do you pronounce? See, if you put a dot, Anuswara, Anuswara is same as Ma. Anuswara is same as Ma. Now, do you pronounce it as Shamkara?
No.
Then how do you pronounce?
Shankara.
Anga yavadu? According to the following ka.
Ka last one.
No, see, since there is a ka, following letter is ka, so that nasal before the ka unconsciously changes into that nasal of kavarga nasal. Kavarga nasal andrenu nga. That's why Shankara. See, Ganga, do you say Gamga or do you say Ganga? Gangadhara. Ganga means Yenji. Like going. See, Gangadhara. That means ka, ga. Before ka and ga, the nasal is changing it to the same vargas, same classes nasal, same classes anuswara. I mean that Anunasika. Anunasika letter belonging to the same varga. Kavarga Anunasika. Like that Kanka. Or you can say Ganga. Naturally, according to pronunciation, nga alone is right. Shankara. If you put a dot is pronounced the same as ma. Do we pronounce as Shankara?
No.
Or Gamga? We don't say Gamga, we say Ganga. According to pronunciation, that Anunasika of Kavarga alone, Kavarga Anunasika. Kavarga Anunasika alone is right.
Swamiji, do they pronounce like that only in Hindi also? In Hindi? Or the
No,
same mistake like
it is normal pronunciation. It is supposed to be. Hindi also depends on Sanskrit alone. It has came from Sanskrit. It is supposed to pronounce like Sanskrit. But where is Hindi these days? It has all become Arabic. It has become almost, it has merged into Urdu. Now they pronounce Shankaracharya, they pronounce Sankaracharya. Even the great Sanskrit scholars, Pithadipatis pronounce Sankaracharya, they say. Sankaracharya. So the sha, sa, this distinction is gone. Everybody pronounces it Sankara, Shankara. Difference alone is very difficult to see. So anybody pronounces anything. So you leave them. Those who study Veda and particularly study the Shiksha Shastra alone know them correct. Otherwise, most of the people pronounce wrongly. But one more thing, fortunately, I don't know what to say. In North India, everybody pronounces ya and ja. Yajna ki jagya. Yaga ki jag. That's because in Shukla Yajurveda, that is a Madhyandini Shaka, pronounced in North India, they say, even Veda mantras also, they say ya as a ja. For example, I'll say Purusha Sukta, you know? Okay, I'll tell you. A portion of it from Madhyandina Shaka. Because I was in North India, so I know. Om Harihi Om Jaggena Jaggamaya Janta Devastani Dharmani Prathamanya Sanna Jaggena Jaggamaya Janta Deva. See, Jaggena Jagga. What is this? Jna. That Jna is pronounced as Gya. Jnanam is pronounced as Gyan. Therefore, Jagya, they say. It is there in the Veda, it has become common to them. So their Veda Shaka also accepts it. So it has become common to them. So Jagya. So you see, Gyanvapi they call it. GY they pronounce it. They write it as Gyanvapi.
It should be
Jnanavapi. Jnana. See, here again is a mistake. South Indians pronounce as if G and N. G and means Jnana they call it. As if Ga and Na is added to Gnana. South Indians like it. They make it Jnana. GY they make it. GN South Indians make it. Both are wrong.
So in Kannada, ja and this Kavarga
Kavargala.
Nya.
Chavargas.
Chavarga Anunasika.
You write it, but I am talking pronouncing. How do you pronounce?
Ga Navat.
That's what in pronunciation I am talking. Writing they also write, but pronounce like you only. See, in pronunciation, South Indians pronounce it Jnanam, they call it. Brahma Jnanam. Jnanam is there, right?
They won't use Anunasika while speaking.
Not Anunasika, Ja. Ja and Chavarga nasal won't come.
Nasal won't come.
No, Ja, its right is Ja and Chavarga nasal. Jnana, it is like Jnanam, Brahma Jnanam, Jnanam, Vijnanam. Vignanam should not be there. Vijnanam, Ja. Vijnanam, J and N. Vijnanam. Okay. So then next comes Sanyuktakshara. Sanyuktakshara means the conjunct consonants. Consonants joined. So since you already know, some of them are given here. Those who do not know Nagari Lipi at all, some letters are given for practice. So commonly given. And then other E, U also you know them. So we'll directly go to the next first chapter. We'll give just a little bit introduction about it. And tomorrow we'll start with the class. Now, first lesson.
Present.
Verb is the central point of a sentence. Verb is the central point. Therefore, first he is teaching verbs. Verb is the central part, main part of a sentence. So in Sanskrit, like in other also, we have got past, present and future. So past, present and future. Now first he is dealing with present tense. In the present tense, and then
Vartamana Bhavishyat. Bhuta Vartamana Bhavishyat.
But first he is dealing with the present tense. First the present tense. Now one more thing I have to say. First I say verb is the central point of a sentence. So first we learn the verbs, then other things will come easily. In Sanskrit, to derive the verbal form, there is a root of a verb. It is called dhatu in Sanskrit. Or verbal root. In English, verbal root. Or in Sanskrit, we call dhatu. So dhatu or verbal root is the basic form, the root form of a verb. From that all various tenses are derived. Various tenses are derived. Tenses, moods and various things are derived. So it is called dhatu. So there are, you can write like this, there are around 2000 dhatus or verbal roots in Sanskrit language. There are around 2000 verbal roots or dhatu, dhatavaha we call them. 2000 verbal roots in Sanskrit. They are divided into 10 groups called gana, in English conjugation. Called gana. Prathamagana, Dvitiyagana, like this Dashamagana, 10th ganas, 10 ganas. These 2000 verbal roots, dhatus, are divided into 10 ganas. What do you want?
In this form only, for na, ga, na, like lower dot.
English you are writing, don't write in English, you put Sanskrit alone. Gana, gana. That diacritical mark below the n you have to put the die.
Below that n.
You can use Sanskrit words directly in English sentences. Okay. Sanskrit words in English sentences. So gana, when gana comes you write gana only. Okay. Sanskrit gana only. So there are around 2000 dhatus are verbal roots. They are divided into 10 ganas called conjugations. 10 conjugations, 10 ganas. Okay. Now we take here the first conjugation, Prathamagana. First conjugation, Prathamagana. Okay. As a simple example, let us take it. So, verbal root you take it. And then, okay, second thing is, to form the sentence, a verb, first you take a verbal root. For example, here is given pat. Pat means to fall. Third letter, down third one, below the tan. Pat. Pat means to fall. Patanam we call him. Patanam. Beeluvadu in Kannada. Same thing. Pat means to fall. I take a simple verb, it becomes easy. Other complicated verbs comes a little later. Pat. To make a present tense form, for pat you add the a. Pat plus a. You write pat. Pat. Plus a plus ti. 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 Mahapranike thi alta illa. Ti. You watch the pronunciation. Any pronunciation, you don't imagine any letter. Patati. Ti. Ti. I didn't say thi. I said ti. Patati. Patati. Pat plus a plus ti. If you join, what happens?
Patati.
Patati. Patati means he falls, third person. He falls, she falls, or it falls. Pat means to fall. Okay, present tense form it is.
Patati.
Patati. Okay. So, pat means to fall.
Pat is the dhatu.
Pat is the dhatu, that is a verbal root. Root of the verb. To fall. So, with it we derived a present tense form. It is a present tense form. He falls. Okay. Patati. So, to this, one more list I'll give you. One is a verb. Next, a, you watched the a. What is a? A is a sign, S-I-G-N. A sign belonging to the Gana. See, 10 Ganas have got their own signs. Each Gana has a sign. Gana Pratyaya we call in Sanskrit, Gana Vikarana Pratyaya. Gana Pratyaya or Gana Vikarana Pratyaya. Gana Pratyaya we can say, okay. Gana Pratyaya in Sanskrit, conjugational sign in English. So, the 10 groups just now I have told. So, each group, certain roots, see all the roots belonging to that particular Gana, all the roots take this particular sign. So, A is a sign for all the first conjugation roots. Means all the Prathamagana dhatu. All the Prathamagana dhatus take A in general. A is the sign they take. Therefore, for any dhatu of Prathamagana, we have to add A. So, Pat plus A. What is A? A is a Gana Pratyaya. All the dhatus of first Gana take A. So, Pat plus A. More other dhatus we will tell you later. Pat plus A. Then Ti. What is Ti? Ti shows the person. First person, second person, third person. Purusha. In Sanskrit, in English, there is a slight difference. First person, in English, we call them. But in Sanskrit, first person is called Uttama Purusha. This is totally opposite. Third person, we call third person is other. But the third person in Sanskrit is called Prathama Purusha.
Third person is
Pratham Purusha. Then first person is Uttama Purusha. That you note down or remember. See, in Sanskrit, Uttama Purusha, I'll start with Pratham Purusha. Pratham Purusha, third person. No, Pratham Purusha is called third person. Prathama Purusha, third person. Third person. Madhyama Purusha, second person. Madhyama Purusha, second person. Second person.
Purusha, second person.
Then Uttama Purusha is first person. In Sanskrit, starts with the third person. Because third is the first in Sanskrit. When we learn, we start with third person. Third person, second person, and then come to the Uttam Purusha. This is the sequence we follow. Uttam Purusha is
First person.
First person. So, for this, the Purusha Pratyayas, we call them, the termination. Termination means...
Purusha Pratyaya.
What is Purusha Pratyaya?
The last one.
That's not really. The last Pratyayas, you can note down here. Next. Okay, just a minute. 2 minutes mugiste. So, in the last Pratyaya, they are written like this. Third person, second person, and first person. Third person is Ti. Second person is Si. First person is Me. Ti, Si, Me.
Ti, Si, Me.
Ti. First, one below the other. You wrote the first is a third person.
Pratham Purusha.
Pratham Purusha ki Ti.
Ti, like he, third person, he falls.
Ti, right? Ti. Then next below is the second person, Madhyama Purusha is Si. Sa, I, Sakara ki Ikara. Si. Then the Uttama Purusha, first person is Me. As we told, Pata, A is the group group sign. First Gana Pratyaya, therefore Gana Vikarana Pratyaya, therefore Pat plus A, Pata. To the Pata, we have to add the Ti. If you Pata plus Ti, Patati, he falls. Patasi, you fall. Patami, we don't say there, we have to add one more. No, Patami, we have to add a Dirgha there. More rule will come. Patami. Now 3 forms you can write. Patati, Patasi, Patami. Patati, Patasi, Patami. Patami. Okay. Similarly, let us take gum. Gum is a root. Note down again. Second root. Gum is the to go. Gum has got a special substitute in certain tenses only.
Swamiji, ga, ma, I mean ma or
no,
anuswara?
Gum, no, anuswara alla. Anuswara don't come at the end like that.
It doesn't come.
End of the word anuswara doesn't come. Always comes. Gum.
The end.
Anuswara comes in the middle or some rules on the rule.
Doesn't come.
No, the rule is there. I'll tell you later. First you take a gum is ma ending. Ma with only consonant.
Got it.
Only consonant. Ma. Gum. Like that. Gum. Gum is the root. But in certain tenses, like in present tense, it has got a special substitute. It becomes gacha. Gacha.
Gum plus?
Plus alla, bracket. It's substitute, it is not
Substitute.
plus. You put in bracket. Gacha. Gacha means first smaller cha, then mahaprana cha.
Got it.
First alpa prana cha, and then mahaprana cha, and then consonant ending alone. There is no vowel in it. Gacha. Gum becomes gacha. So, gum gacha means to go. So, Gana Pratyaya is A. Gacha plus A, gacha. Ti you add it, gachati.
Gum means go. It becomes gacha in present tense.
Gachati.
Gacha.
Gachati in gacha plus A plus Ti. Like patati. Gachati.
Gachati.
Now, similarly, remaining forms. Second, gachasi, gachami. So, gachati, he goes. Say openly, gachati, he goes, or she goes, or it goes. Then gachasi,
you go.
You say, pronounce gachati, you don't leave it to me. Gachasi,
you go.
You go. Gachami,
I go.
Gachami, say, you have to say.
Gachami, I go.
Gachami, I say, and you tell the meaning, then I have to learn the gachami, then you don't learn gachami.
Okay.
Gachami.
Gachami, I go.
So, three, these are the gachati, gachasi, gachami. The well-known sentence of the Buddhists, Buddham Sharanam Gachami. Gachami means I go, Sharanam Gachami. I go Sharanam. Like that. Buddham Sharanam
Gachami.
I go into surrender.
Present tense. I go and surrender. I go into surrender.
I go or I am going. See, in continuous tense, as we say, I go, I am going. There is no two expressions in Sanskrit for both of them. Gachati, gachami.
Is also same. Present
continuous also same. Gachami, gacha. Gachami means I am going. Gachami means I go. Both meanings come in that. Okay, we stop with today and tomorrow we'll continue.
Gachasi, gachami.
Gachati, gachasi, gachami.
Gachami. For the Uttama Purusha,
it becomes long. It is one more long. Gachami, it becomes long.
Gana Vikarana Pratyaya becomes long.
No, after, okay, that way you can say, but it is an additional akara, we call it. For another comes and joins.
Oh, like that.
Another joins, it becomes a dirgha, savarna dirgha.
Okay.
It becomes a gachami. Okay, as you say, becomes long, that's okay. Also, okay, tentatively.
Okay.
So, gachati, gachasi, gachami. Patati, patasi, patami. This much we learnt. And we'll continue. I think one more class I have to explain, then you will have a little practice of translating. Some words he gives and then you have to translate. I think still I have to teach some more lesson. Tomorrow will be my lesson alone, then day after tomorrow. Then tomorrow probably you will have some homework to do your own translation. Okay, so we'll stop with today. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah Harihi Om Tat Sat. You can close it.